What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today we are playing with engine codes. So we have an engine code that popped up. You can see here my little engine lights on. So let's go figure out what it is. I grabbed my flashlight so that you guys can see what I'm doing here, because it is dark. It is, as you can see, 6:39 p.m. and we are in Casper, Wyoming. So let me show you how to check your engine codes in a Volvo if you guys are not sure. So for you guys who are new to the channel, I drive a 2012 Volvo. So if you're new to trucking and you need to figure out how to check your engine codes, it's not that hard. This little button here on your windshield wiper, on the outside edge of it, the one with the little arrow right there, you're going to click that. Let me see if I can hold these both at the same time. So you're going to hit this button right here, and then over on this screen it's going to change, and now you have gauges, fuel data, yada yada yada. But you can either go up one or you can scroll down through these. And after reset, it goes to these smaller ones. Down here, you go to diagnostics. You hit the little enter button again, the one with the arrow. And then it says view active faults or cluster self-test. We're going to view the active faults, so hit enter again. And then you can just scroll through these and hit enter on every one of them. Enter. And then escape. If you can see the escape button next to it, that's how you back out. But we are going to hit enter on the engine ECU. It transfers the data, and there's our code. So we have SPN 3936 is our active fault code. Alright, and that's how you check the codes real fast, simple, easy. Go through those, pull up any engine code. So I did some research last night. This came on last night, and that 3936, a lot of people were referring it back to this part right here I hold in my hand from Volvo. It is the DPF Pressure Sensor, which is mounted on the side of the canister. If you guys need the part number, hopefully you guys can see that. But I'm not sure this is going to fix it. Obviously the part is still in the bag. I picked it up today, and so what it's doing is it's putting me into having to regen all the time. I think I've done 5 or 6 regens today, and so a lot of people said that this pressure sensor is going bad when that happens. I just decided to buy a pressure sensor. I figured, why not? Even if it's not bad, it won't hurt to have a new one on. And then if it's not this, I'm assuming that my DPF filter needs to be cleaned, which if that's the case, then I'll deal with having to do regens to get myself back home, and then we'll pull out the DPF filter this weekend, and I'll show you guys how you can clean those. I know there's an argument to be made. People say that you can't clean them, that you have to get new ones, but you can clean them. That's usually what they do. But anyways, we'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, now the footage isn't going to be very good because it's dark outside, so I'll set up a couple of flashlights. Hopefully you guys can see decent with the GoPro cameras. They're not the best, so they're great cameras, don't get me wrong. They're just not the best for the kind of stuff that you do when you're trying to use flashlights, GoPros, everything. But this is the part. This is what it looks like. Very simple to take it off, reinstall a new one. You have your wiring harness that clips in here. You have 2 bolts that we'll have to take out of the old one and put them in the new one, obviously, and 2 hoses. So all this does is test the pressure in and out of your DPF system. So one hose is bigger than the other, so keep an eye on that, but we'll go over that. Let's jump out, let's get started. It should only take a few minutes to pull the old one off, put the new one on, and then hopefully the engine code's gone. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to be replacing right here. So you see that the wiring harness clips in there. Here's your 2 hoses coming out the bottom, and then there's 1 bolt, and then there's another bolt back over here on the other side behind the wiring harness. So let's get it pulled out. Well, I guess I'm not a very good Boy Scout. The GoPro battery died, so I had to stick it in the truck and get it charged. So while it was charging, we got her done. So I haven't turned the truck on yet, but as you can see, the new one's in there. So all you need, or all I used, is a 7mm. I think a 6.5 would work. I don't have a 6.5, but a 7 did work on these little bolts right here where my finger's pointing, kind of. But there's that one, there's the one on the other side back there behind the wiring harness, and then there's this one that comes out the back right there. You can access it from right here on this side. And so let me turn on the other light. So essentially you have, I like this light because it has the flashlight on the where you'd regularly have a flashlight, and then one off to the side, so I can kind of just set it on something. But so you have a 7mm bolt here, one back here, and then one right here. So, and then the wiring harness, you have to push this little red tab. Let's see if I can get a picture of it for you. I don't know if you guys can see it on there with the light. Hopefully you can. But that little red tab right here, you have to push it down, and then you can push in the button and pull out your wiring harness. And then I used a pair of pliers to undo these little hose clamps. So there's one on both hoses. So, and then the bigger pipe goes, or the smaller length pipe goes on the bigger inlet, and then the longer one goes on the smaller one, and you'll see that here in a second when I show you. But I also took off the hoses here and down there, and I blew through them to make sure that they weren't clogged, because people said that these hoses get clogged too, these metal little pipes right here. So one's an inlet, one's an outlet. But that's it. So a pair of pliers, a 7mm socket with a ratchet, and a crescent wrench, which I'll show you the supplies or the tools that I used right here. So this is all the tools I used. So out of my 2 toolboxes there, and then I have another toolbox inside, but that don't matter. So pliers for the hose clamps, crescent wrench for these bigger ones. You could use an open-ended wrench if you have some. I don't have any on the truck, so for that one there, and then that one right down there, and then my ratchet with my 3-inch extension. And then, as I said, oh, this was a 6mm, so pretty sure I used the 7 though. Well, let's try the 6 and just see if it will go on here. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong one back out to show you guys. So it's the 7mm is the one I used, and it's probably dirty. Yep, it is. So the 7mm here. But that's it. Let's go fire her up and see if that changed anything at all. Before we fire her up, here's the old one, by the way. So it's pretty dirty, but you know, it's hard to tell if they're still good or not. And then there's the inlet sizes for you right there. See how one's just a tad bigger than the other one. So you make sure you put the right hose on the right side. I don't think the little forklift driver wants to unload me tonight. He's seen me walking towards around my truck, and he like flips a U-turn, takes off, goes the other way. Or maybe it's just coincidence and he's putting the forklift back, but I don't need to get unloaded till in the morning, so I'm not worried about it. But here we go. Let's fire her up. Let it go through its system. So nope, see, check engine fault is still on, but it might take some running too to get it to turn off, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated, see if it fixes itself. Supposedly it's supposed to, but as of right now, the light's still on. I could try disconnecting the battery for a little bit, see if that fixes it, but alright guys, we are going to end the video here with some amazing news. No more check engine light. It is gone. So we'll go into the diagnostics here. Boom. Let me let it focus. View active faults, engine ECU, no faults, baby, no faults. So code 3936 was cured with DPF Pressure Sensor. Fixed it. So the check engine light stayed on until I got here. I'm in Salt Lake. I was hooking up my solar panel on the back of the truck, but I started up the truck to warm me up a breakfast burrito, and I was like, oh, I'll see if the engine light's still on. Well, negative, Nancy. It's gone. She gone. So anyways, with that being said, like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you then.